I think I'm live. My name is Crispina French, and I am a textile recycling entrepreneur, artist, and activist. And I am super excited to be teaching a masterclass on how to make potholder rugs. This is a potholder rug. If this is your first time tuning in and learning about what I do, this is made out of 100% recycled used clothing. So I'm going to stand back so you can see the whole thing a little bit better. And you can make these in any size, in any color. There's a couple of different samples I have here with me. Any size and any color that you find clothing in. So that's kind of pretty much any color, right? And you can make them room size. You can make them 10 by 10 feet, 10 by 15 feet, however big you want to. You can make little ones like chair pads. And I've been talking all about this process this past week because I have a masterclass that is actually open for registration right now. And registration closes on Monday, tomorrow evening at midnight. And I can't even tell you guys, like, honestly, I am so excited about the response. It's like I've been waiting for such a long time. I've been doing this since 1987. And there's this like incredible, like bubbling interest in being really environmentally conscious and thinking about ways to use what we have to create beauty and to have fun with it. So those things all really resonate with me because I think that if we can have fun doing something that's really productive for the environment, that we're going to do it a lot more often and have better consistency and more kind of longevity to our practice. So I'm here to teach you all about potholder rugs. And one of the things that I think is really interesting, and actually before I go off on my story for the day, I want to just say that if you're interested in learning more about potholder rugs, and this is the first time you've heard of them, you can go on my feed on whatever platform you're watching on right now and go back a few days. There's a whole series I did called Potholder Rug Study Hall series. So each day I posted a live and I talked in depth about some aspect of potholder rugs. So you can learn more that way. And if you're interested in joining my masterclass, which I highly recommend, because people have actually told me that my masterclass has changed their life. I mean, I wouldn't have guessed. I'm just telling the truth. You can go, registration closes, like I said, on Monday at midnight. I'm just going to type, let's see, the URL to learn more about the masterclass. So you can hop on that link if you want to learn more. The masterclass is a 5-week course. There is no question left unanswered. I have 30 years experience. I've been teaching this process since 2008. And I encourage people to learn the process and make it their own and use it in any way that they see fit, whether that means making a rug for your living room or building a business around this process. It's super awesome. I like to encourage people to use it as their own. It's a process that I developed starting in 1990, and I have done a ton of research. I've tried to find historical reference to this very simple process, and I haven't found one, but I have had people tell me, oh, I think my grandmother used to make rugs like that, but never a picture of one. So if you have reference to a potholder rug predating 1990 that is made like a giant potholder on a frame loom, let me know. I'd love to learn more. So potholder rugs have been used and in many different ways. And a few years ago, I love to participate in my community. I love to teach. I love to support organizations that support the well-being of community. So I have some dear friends who were organizing an event for our local community gardens, and it was right around this time of year. Gosh, I bet you it was 10 years ago now. And they asked me to come and can you have a booth? Have a booth at the community garden event. And my work, the work that I sell, like the blanket that's behind me, and there's a potholder rug back there too. It's really expensive, and people who are going to the opening ceremony for a community garden are not typically carrying around an extra $800 or $1,000 to blow on a beautiful blanket. So it's hard for me to want to go do that, set up a booth outdoors, especially this time of year. Sometimes it can be kind of crappy outside. So I said to that to him, I said, you guys are crafters, you understand. Like, it doesn't make any sense. I can't do that. And Alan, the husband, said to me, maybe you could have like a clothing drive. And I thought, that would be really super cool. A clothing drive, that might be a good thing for, maybe people need a place to donate their clothing. That might be a good way to work. And I was like, yeah, I bet you I could figure something out. And I started thinking about it. And I thought, instead of just having a clothing drive, why not have a clothing drive and then make a potholder rug on site? So we started advertising it. We put the word out in the circles of the people who had the little plots in the garden, and all the organizers of the event and stuff were helping me market it. And we had people show up from all across the socioeconomic background, from the whole, all different community members came and brought their clothing that they were no longer using. And I set up a rug loom that makes a 3x5 foot rug. So the rug loom itself is like 6x4, maybe 4x6. I think it's actually even bigger than that. I set it up. I set up a table where we could cut the material. I made sure, bring your material, make sure it's nice and clean. Told people what I was looking for. It had to be stretchy. It has to be, clean and stretchy, any color. We were not particular about what color people could bring that day. And we wove a beautiful rug. And it was the first time I'd ever done that. And now, since that time, I've organized and participated and kind of guided tons of community potholder rug weaves. And it's just such a beautiful way to, during that day, I remember standing back and looking and just being like, this is the coolest thing I've ever witnessed. All these different people from, the people who were visiting from out of town who were like, what? You wanted me to bring clothing? I don't have clothing, but there was plenty for everybody to use. Visitors that had no idea what they were walking into, there was a developmentally disabled guy who literally spent the whole day with me and was actually teaching people the process as he learned it himself. There was young families with young kids. There was, older people, every single different kind of person. There was the people who were planting their plots in the community garden, their kids, their parent. It was just this beautiful experience. And I just thought, that's what the world needs right now, is for us to come together as strangers, where we're working together on this we're weaving our community together. So that day just made me realize that this is something that could really be a very useful tool for all different kinds of organizations, right? So the way that it worked that day was we made this beautiful rug, and then, I hadn't really thought it through, because this is kind of how I am. Oh no, we have this gorgeous rug, and I don't want to keep it and sell it as mine because I didn't make it, and it's beautiful, but it needs to be sold to benefit the community garden. So that's what I did. I took it home, I photographed it, I wrote a little story about how it came about, and I put it on my website. And that rug sold, I can't remember now how much we raised for the community gardens in Great Barrington, Massachusetts, but it was a chunk of change. I think it was $700 or $1,000. So, that has carried on. The community rug weave is something that I've done, like I said, many of. It's kind of been developed over the time that since I started doing them, and so a lot of organizations will choose to raffle the rug off and enable people who might not have a lot of money to buy a rug have a chance at it. It also gives people an opportunity to raise more money than they might if they set a price tag on it. So it's just a really great use and community building activity that can be used for the potholder rugs. And you can, in that situation, when you're doing a community rug weave, it's nice to have a pretty substantially sized loom. So I do have looms for sale in my shop. I'm going to show you the size that, the largest size that we have available in the shop is this size. And it makes a 2.5 by 3.5 foot rug, which is like the rainbow rug I was showing you just a little bit ago. This is the rug that came off of that loom. So, imagine this beautiful rug being woven at, if it's your farmer's market or your, I don't know if you have like a summer festival or whatever. It could be a music festival. It could be any kind of organization that has an outdoor space where people can gather this summer with our COVID summer coming up. This is an activity where if people are masked, they can work together on the loom. And, with all the vaccinations that we're all getting these days, it seems like things are going to become more comfortable for people to be, you still have to be cautious, of course, but I feel like masked, one person at a time on the loom, this is something that you could really make work for your organization. So I just wanted to pop in and let you guys know one more awesome aspect of Potholder rugs. I will be back here tomorrow again at 4:30, probably another 10-15 minute segment. If you guys have any questions that you'd like me to touch upon, if you missed any of the previous recordings that I've done, scroll back in the feed, check them out, join the masterclass. It's going to be super fun. There's an amazing group of people like from all over, like literally I think all over the world, who are jumping into that. So I'm really excited, and thank you so much for being here with me today and for just being awesome out there and caring about our environment and caring about having fun and making beautiful things out of what other people might think of as trash. So have a great rest of your Sunday, and I'll see you again tomorrow. Don't forget, and I will put it in the comments on Instagram. You can register for the Potholder rug course between now and midnight tomorrow. Registration closes at midnight tomorrow, and it's crispina.eco/masterclass. That's how you get to the registration page. I did put it in the comments. I'll put it in the comments of the Instagram feed as soon as I can. And have a great Sunday. Thanks for being with me.